might find this interesting too, but many a patient in this area is vegetarian and vegan, and many of the vegetarians are not lacto-vegetarian, so no milk at all. And the concept is that it's not appropriate for an animal past being weaned to do milk. And it's very interesting in the human realm that humans, of all mammals, have the highest lactose of any mammal, and that we are also the only mammal which continues to secrete lactase. Mm-hmm. So we are therefore actually kind of uniquely designed for milk drinking. And if we've been drinking milk for 30,000 years, and all of a sudden people say, hey, forget what's in the Bible about goat milk, you know, it's a toxic, I mean, it's incredible kind of the mind. Right. And the effect of that now is particularly vegans are having the worst childbirth, the worst statistics in birth and reproductive problems in that realm because
neurological
they're not getting the fats.
Neurological issues in their whole nerve system,
the
frazzled nature in terms of nervousness and stuff. We've seen vegans that come in and didn't realize what they were eating. They thought it was a soy cream, and it was actually raw cream. And literally, they were addicted. They couldn't stop eating it.
Yeah, you need the fat.
They need the fat, the raw fat. I mean, the Eskimos never drank raw milk, but they certainly had a lot of raw fat from seal blubber and whale blubber.
Yeah.
But so the raw animal fat is critical.
Same with the American Indians. See, they refused to milk buffalo because of laziness, and so but they ate liver and they eat all the organ meats and ferments, and so they got all the fat they needed. But that's kind of interesting because it is a topic that comes up with vegans and vegetarians. Another question that comes up is the safety of milk.
Yes. And
people are so afraid of unpasteurized products. I'm thinking you might be able to just comment a little bit on why raw milk is actually safer.
A word on the word safe. The idea that I'm going to guarantee somebody's safety is ridiculous. There's no such thing as guaranteed safety. What there is a high level of assurance of safety. And the interesting thing about safety is it's exploited to make billions of dollars in this country. Billions of dollars. Being fearful of something makes somebody a lot of money. So fear in its own right is a wonderfully exploited economic realm for a lot of industry. So I would ask people to realize what it is that really they fear and why they fear it, and start looking at the hard facts. The hard facts are at Organic Pastures Dairy, and what we represent is grass-fed cows on a natural set of conditions, organically managed, so nothing funky's going on. Everything's the way God created, right? That set of conditions makes 70 million to 0 is a score. 70 million to 0 pathogens detected. 70 million servings, 0 pathogens, using very, very state-of-the-art SDI, Strategic Diagnostics Incorporated, advanced testing. FDA, USDA, CDFA, Fresno County, nobody's been able to find a pathogen in our milk or in our environment, in any of our creamery. Okay? So what we're talking about here is a dramatic departure from what they fear, which is the exploited idea that you've got to pasteurize milk because if you don't, somebody's going to die. You've got a pathogen that's going to be there. And actually, that's true. There are pathogens present in raw milk that go to pasteurization. So 31% of the time, the university has found that raw milk on a factory farm has a pathogen present. So that milk is intended to go to pasteurization. We're talking about raw milk intended specifically for human consumption, which is a different thing completely. Different production, different testing. We test for Campylobacter, we test for Listeria monocytogenes, we test for Salmonella, and we test for E. coli 0157H7. The interesting thing about E. coli is whenever you see E. coli scare, you realize that the media themselves are exploiting the word E. coli without actually explaining it. E. coli is essential to life. We have 230 kinds of E. coli have been identified, probably more, but there's only a couple that are actually detrimental to life or pathogenic for some people. A person with a really strong immune system wouldn't phase them at all, but there's 230 or so beneficial forms of E. coli. Without E. coli, you can't make vitamin K, B1, B2, B6, or B12. We would die literally in a few weeks if we didn't have E. coli in our intestines. So E. coli is a good friend. The bad stepchild, the E. coli 0157H7, can really make people sick or kill some people if they have depressed immune systems or if they're receptive to the kind of antigen that it is. And so, you know, there's brain, liver, and kidney tissues that are susceptible to the E. coli 0157H7 and their toxins, which brings on HUS, the hemolytic uremic syndrome, which can kill somebody. And that's something that grew out of the antibiotic revolution, which killed off and modified and caused resistance of these wonderful bacteria that we have that evolved them into resistant bacteria because of antibiotic use. So don't blame the dairyman, blame the pharmaceutical industry and the indiscriminate use of it by doctors.